Before we begin, I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year to make all these special videos, so if you like the content here, please consider subscribing to help fulfill Project 10K. Thank you. Now on to the video. I tend to try to avoid picking favorites when it comes to Cars-related topics. You know, I was going through all of the questions that I've received for my upcoming 10,000 subscriber Q&A the other day. I've been recording it, and so many people have asked me things along the lines of, who's your favorite Cars character? What's your favorite Piston Cup sponsor? What's your favorite Cars movie? What's your favorite Cars diecast? And those questions are, for whatever reason, always really kind of hard for me. I often tend to avoid answering questions like that because I feel like there are so many things that I like so much, I don't want to just pick one. And also I feel like just picking one as my all-time favorite kind of puts me into a box. You know, one of my favorite Piston Cup sponsors is Shiny Wax. But I feel like if I say that that's my favorite, then everyone remembers, oh yeah, he said his favorite sponsor is Shiny Wax. And I feel like that kind of puts me into a box where I'm forced to always be like, yeah, Shiny Wax is my favorite. When in reality, I like a lot of Piston Cup sponsors a whole lot, and Shiny Wax is one of the ones that would be towards the top. It's just hard for me to pick favorites. But when it comes to me being asked what my favorite Cars diecast is, there is one that always almost immediately comes to my mind. I can't say this one is my all-time favorite, but it's certainly one of the ones I always think of when I'm asked about it. And that is Damaged Rod Torque Redline. It's who this review is about. Were you expecting me to say Finish Line McQueen? Like, were you expecting me to say, honestly, were you expecting me to do a whole minute-and-a-half build-up and for the answer to not be Damaged Rod Torque Redline? That would be really awkward. I should do that for a review one day. The next time I have a really boring item to review, it'd be really funny if I start with like a minute-and-a-half intro that's like super deep or something, and then it's like, hey guys, today we're reviewing Jodon Jackson 2, the sequel, the second Jodon Jackson. No, really, in all honesty, Damaged Rod Torque Redline is one of my all-time favorite Cars diecasts ever. I don't know what it is about Mattel and damaged cars, but whenever they have to make one, they go all out. And they rarely fail to make incredibly screen-accurate, detailed, damaged cars, and Rod Torque Redline is one of my all-time favorites. I am super excited to be able to review this guy today. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another review and to another birthday request here on the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Damaged Rod Torque Redline, a birthday request from Kevin's Cars Reviews. I hope you have a great birthday. I hope you've had a great day. Thank you so much for the birthday request, as always. Like I said, I'm really excited to take a look at this item. Damaged Rod Torque Redline was released once and only once in a 2-pack alongside a regular Graham, and he's a pretty rare item. I picked this 2-pack up for around $25 back in 2018 when I was making my Cars Redline movie, and at the time, that to me was a lot to pay for a 2-pack. Honestly, it still is. I try to avoid buying single Cars diecasts over $20, but nowadays I have more money to spend, and a lot of the Cars items I don't have are rare ones, so I break that rule pretty often. You guys have seen plenty of hauls recently where I buy, you know, rare items and spend a little bit more than that on them, but still, I'm always trying to find the best deal I can, and 25, 26, I think it might have been, dollars for the Damaged Rod Torque Redline 2-pack back in 2018 was not pretty bad for an item that isn't the easiest to find. It's not super rare. I don't know what its prices are like now, but you know, back in 2018, it was a pretty notable item, at least to me it was, and I picked it up for my Redline movie, a Cars fan film project I was working on at the time, which, of course, you all know I make fun of all the time now. Looking back, it just does not hold up, but it always holds a special place in my heart as the biggest project I'd ever attempted at the time. And even if I don't look back on that final product fondly, the process of making it and the fact that I bought this item specifically for a video, this is probably like one of the first times I ever went out of my way to spend more money than I had to on a video, right? And, yeah, it's an item that means a lot to me, and I also think it's a really, really great looking one. I also think Rod Torque Redline is just such a cool looking character in the first place, and honestly a pretty underrated character, he says while brushing dust off of his hood. Yeah, super underrated character. Ignore the fact that mine's collecting dust. I don't get to use Rod in videos all that often, okay? We're not in some super intense Cars Adventures plotline right now. We don't need him right now. But as you can see, they really went out of their way to ensure that they made this look like an accurate depiction of what Rod would look like when he's damaged. These two are very clearly the same character, but this one has been crushed in very realistic ways. The way that the hood is raised up here, of course, in the movie we see how Rod gets all this damage in sort of the bathroom fight. This looks great. This denting at the front. One thing I really like about this item is that it's a rare case of a dented up car that's glossy and shiny, kind of metallic, right? When you think of damaged cars on the diecast line, you probably think of things like a race damage, the King, who's matte, maybe the Demolition Derby cars are all matte. Seeing a dented car that is not matte is really nice in my opinion, and it just makes the sculpting on this item look even better. Like, look at the roof, look at that. This looks like an actual wrecked car that you can see, maybe still driving around on the road, and that's what makes it so impressive. I could gush about this item literally all day, as you can tell by the fact that this review has gone on for almost 6 minutes at this point, and we're still, only talking about the front of Rod here. The frown is a little awkward looking, honestly, but there's a lot of space. Because of the way he's been crushed, there's a lot more space where his mouth is than usual, but you could really see just how much detail went in to having every part of this as crushed as possible. The grill having much less space there. These dents up top are really impressive, and he's got a great frowning expression to boot. Probably the detail that I always remember the most when I think of this car, what really cements this as one of my all-time favorite items, this, right here. The rear view mirror hanging off the side. I thought that was so cool and so clever when I first got this item. It's always stood out to me as sort of a marvel of Cars diecast engineering. Instead of having the rearview mirrors sticking out like this, they put a crushed mirror hanging off the side. I believe that is movie accurate. I believe all of this is movie accurate. Of course, there was another variant of Rod that was canceled, which was going to be called like Super Damage Rod Torque Redline, and he came with the parking boot, and that had a different expression and was based on the scene where he gets blown up. This is actually just based on the bathroom fight scene, I guess, because he's not restrained here. But yeah, really, really screen accurate and a really cool detail there. You can also see some scuff marks here. Pretty well done. Those almost look like, it almost looks like I just took sandpaper to the side of this item. But no, this is a part of it. It's really realistic looking damage. Look at that. It honestly looks like I could have scraped that paint off. I almost feel like going back and double checking my original review to make sure this isn't wear and tear on this item over the years. It's just that impressively detailed. Wheels are no different than on the original there. They're the exact same. And on the back, another really great detail. Not only do we have a crushed up tail light, we have his license plate hanging off there, dangling by a thread. My camera refuses to focus on it. Come on. There we go. M1911A1. Exact same as that, but now just hanging off. So look at the back. Even the back is so well detailed. Again, whenever they do damaged cars, they really knock it out of the park. You guys know I love cars with asymmetrical designs. Rod here is no exception. We have even more dent marks here on the side and over here. Just a beautifully designed item, which is a crazy way to describe what is a destroyed car in toy car form, right? They really went above and beyond to make sure this looked as great as possible. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you once again to Kevin's Cars Reviews for the birthday request. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.